In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to properly install a head unit in your vehicle. There are a handful of common tools you will need to install a head unit. These include wire stripper, wire crimper, soft panel removal tool, and a Phillips screwdriver. You will also need some installation parts. The common three install parts include a wiring harness, a mounting kit, and if your vehicle calls for it, an antenna adapter. The head unit install is broken up into three main steps. Step 1, dash disassembly. Step 2, wiring up the harness. And step 3, mounting the head unit into the dash. Let's go over dash disassembly first. Before we can work on the vehicle, you must disconnect the negative terminal of the car's battery to prevent a short circuit. Dash disassembly can be the hardest part of installing a stereo, mainly because if not done correctly, damage to the dash will occur and most often will result in a damage claim to you or your customer's vehicle. While damage claims cannot always be avoided, we can limit them by understanding what the main causes of them are. The common mistake people make is attempting to disassemble a dash that they are unfamiliar with. You end up tugging on panels that have a hidden screw and you eventually break the piece. Fortunately, there is a simple fix for this. If you are installing a new head unit, the instructions for the dash disassembly will be included in the mounting kit packaging. The second reason for damaged dash panels is using the wrong tools to remove the plastic pieces from the dash. These wrong tools include using pick tools, flat blade screwdrivers, and door panel removal tools. All these tools will do is nick, scratch, and break you or your customer's vehicle. You should only be using non-marring plastic panel removal tools like this one from Snap-on. These tools are specially designed not to scratch delicate surfaces, such as a dash plastic piece. Once the dash is disassembled, go ahead and remove the factory antenna and the stereo's Molex plug. The harness that comes with your new CD player cannot directly connect into your vehicle. You must first purchase a vehicle-specific adapter. These harnesses connect directly from the new CD player's harness and then plug into the factory stereo Molex plug. Some harnesses may include custom modules to interface with today's newer vehicles, such as vehicles with OnStar or vehicles with data bus systems. Some harnesses will have RCA connections on them to better interface into a premium factory amplified sound system. Aftermarket harnesses are color-coded to match with the head unit's output harness. So connecting these wires together is as easy as matching up the colors. There are a variety of crimp connectors used to connect these harnesses together. Most common are the red connectors and the snow-style caps. You can also solder these wires together and apply heat shrink tubing for a more secure connection. Start out by prepping both the head unit's harness and the vehicle-specific harness. Strip back a ½ inch of insulation off each wire. Doing this will allow us to insert the wire into our crimp connectors. Once completed, connect the yellow constant wire. This wire retains memory for functions such as clock EQ presets and programmable radio presets, followed by the red 12 switched wire. This wire tells your head unit to turn on when you turn the key to the accessory position. And then the black vehicle ground. This wire completes the electrical circuit. Once that is complete, start with the speaker wires. They are double gray, white, violet, and green wires. Be aware that these wires have a positive and negative marking on them. Make sure to connect them accordingly. The negative of the wire has a stripe on it and the positive does not. If these wires are not connected properly, it will cause your speakers to be out of phase and bass will suffer. In this harness, you may or may not have an illumination orange wire. If it is there and your head unit harness also has an orange wire, go ahead and connect that also. If not, cap off the wire with a crimp connector. Moving on, you will also have two blue wires. One has a stripe on it. That wire is your amp turn-on wire. This is used to turn on an aftermarket amp or a premium factory amplifier such as Bose, JBL, or Monsoon. Connect it to the corresponding color on the head unit's output harness. To activate an aftermarket amp, this wire will run down the dash and connect directly into the amplifier's turn-on input. The solid blue wire is for powering a power antenna. Connect this to the corresponding lead on the head unit's harness. Remember, some vehicles may not have an actual antenna that motorizes up, but these vehicles will still need a power antenna signal activated because they need it to turn on the amplified power antenna. If you have any unused wires on either harness, make sure to cap them off to avoid a short circuit. Finally, zip tie the harness for a more professional appearance. When you remove the factory stereo, there will be an empty area in the dash where the radio used to be. A mounting kit fills in this gap and provides an area for the new head unit to mount to. There are two common types of mounting methods, sleeve mounting and ISO mounting. Sleeve mounting is where the new head unit is held in place at the dash by a metal sleeve. ISO mounting is where the head unit is held in place by side support brackets. Depending on the type of vehicle you have, you will either be using the factory brackets or the ISO mount brackets included with the kit. Refer to your kit's instructions for guidance. Place the new head unit into the brackets using the supplied ISO mount screws. You will notice there are many mounting points on the head unit. This allows us to either extend the unit out a little bit or recess it in to sit flush with the dash. When you purchase a new head unit, it will include a sleeve. This sleeve is what secures your head unit to the dash. Remove the sleeve from the head unit using the supplied radio removal keys. If for some reason you do not have these keys, you can bend the locking points out to remove the head unit from the sleeve. Just remember to bend them back in so the head unit can lock back into place. Insert the metal cage from the head unit into the kit. This can be done either on a workbench or inside the vehicle when the kit is mounted to the dash. Secure the sleeve into the kit by bending its tabs. Use a flat blade screwdriver or a cotter pin extractor tool and press as many tabs into the kit as possible. This will create a strong support for the radio to be secured to. The sleeve should not be able to be wiggled up and down. If it does, try pushing more tabs in to secure it. Slide the head unit into the sleeve until you hear a click. Once you have completed mounting the unit, connect the head unit's harness to the vehicle and then to the stereo. And if your vehicle required an antenna adapter, plug that in also, along with all factory Molex plugs. Sometimes you will have a hard time pushing the radio into the dash due to clearance issues caused by the wiring. Be patient. Most of the time, the wires just need to be rearranged. As a caution, before testing the unit, do not turn the vehicle's key to the accessory position while the vehicle's Molex plugs, such as the hazard buttons and the HVAC buttons, are unplugged. This can cause a vehicle to throw a check engine code, and most of the time, it can only be reset by the dealer at the factory. Once all is connected, check to make sure all the system functions are working properly, such as the AM/FM radio reception and the accessories like iPod adapters and satellite radio. If all checks out okay, reassemble the dash and conduct a post checklist of the vehicle. Pay special attention to the buttons on the dash, such as HVAC controls and hazard buttons. Make sure that you have them plugged back in. After installing the stereo, thank the customer for his business.
Another satisfied customer. Wait, did he pay?